All right, so let's get into this Budden topic. Oh, look at my pun. I'm good, people. So Tahiri says Joe Budden. Well, I don't know what necessarily says she didn't explicit. It's the way that she kind of implicit.
Implied it, yeah.
She implied it that Joe Budden broke her nose, which is very still nasty, man. Really nasty.
And her rib and threw her down the stairs.
Yeah. And which comes to find out that she got her. Well, we don't know what Joe and her did together.
Yeah.
These incidents did come around from other hood people that she had, been in altercations with. So she said that on the Hollywood Unlocked with Jason Lee, that messy man with a love for drama. Don't we love him? Don't we love him?
I guess that's what we need.
He brings us all the tea. Don't we love that?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. So she started breaking down, and the whole conversation came through like her experience with like Botto on the VH1 show, the boot camp or whatever that marriage, whatever couple boot camp, whatever that shit was.
Yeah.
And then he geared the conversation in towards her interactions with Joe Budden, and then she started to get teary eyed and say a whole bunch of nasty things.
Yeah.
That at the time, seemed really true and factual. And then Joe Budden ended up on his podcast confirming that. I listened to the part of the podcast. He confirmed that semantics, really, we were both toxic to each other. Implying, I'm not quite sure what Joe Budden did, but he said that we were both toxic to each other, saying that he was getting his ass beat by her. But he did not say anything from what I recollect that anything he did to her. He just said we were both toxic. Maybe he was just verbally abusive. I'm not quite sure, but he did say that we were both toxic, and he didn't say that she was beating his ass from time to time.
And then that whole video leaked of him recording her after she got her nose broken by another guy she got into a fight.
Not leaked. This shit was already on the internet.
Well, yeah, it just resurfaced. Sorry, that's the right word. Resurfaced.
The algorithm just picked it up and was like, "Oh shit, it's just right there." And then, all right, and then and it confirms that Joe Budden was telling the truth in terms of that she got her ass beat by another dude.
Yeah, that she got into a fight with.
Exactly, and so the reason. I mean, you want to speak on it? You want to do with thoughts? Because I just want to go in the same direction. Just want to bring my opinion on it.
Yeah, there's not I don't know. Everyone, from what I was seeing, everyone was like, we already didn't believe her kind of thing.
Yeah.
And everyone already believed Joe. I just think it's kind of messed up how she's like trying to twist situations into something else. For what reason, I don't know. Joe kept saying like, I don't know why your memory is foggy all of a sudden, but let me remind you. So like, I don't know why she's doing it on purpose, or I don't fucking know.
Yeah. So all right, I'm glad that that's all you want to say.
Yeah. Did you want me to say more?
No. So my what I want to bring to this is that two things that I see, just viewing the general internet public, and that is one being. People want to stand by who they choose to stand by. I think humans, and a lot of times, there's a lot of hypocrisy in a lot of the movements that are being propagated out. I'm using good words today. Are being promoted in the sphere, right? Yeah. So they were talking about believe all women, believe Black women, and we're telling men in the general public to stand by, the abuse of women. While, there is a small fragment of the internet and society that says, no, that right there, that doesn't make any sense. Why would we just automatically believe you or believe who we ever want to believe? That's just one. So coming out, and I think theoretically standing by that sentiment and saying to believe all women when there should be an era of skepticism until certain evidence is brought forth to kind of corroborate the story. We don't stand on that. We often lean to all right, automatically just go with the popular opinion, which is believe all women and believe all Black women. And we have a case just like this where Tahiri said that she was abused. And this is bringing my other point. We only believe, or not to say we only, but the general public, the popular opinion tends to believe the women who have a good moral background, who don't have a messy background. So when a woman is saying that she's been abused by a man who does not have a messy background, we tend to lean in to believe her, right? And in a situation where Tahiri, where she has some type of messy background and people have seen her behavior, her temperament, and to look at her as untrustworthy and someone who provokes abuse onto herself in, you know, in some type of capacity. I'm not saying I don't know her whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a situation where people say, "Nah, we don't believe her," right? So it kind of the same people that say believe all women believe black women, and we have a situation of Tahiri saying something. It seems like they came to the conclusion we don't want to believe you. So that whole movement is very biased within itself, but it's there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. I just want to address that. That's all.
Yeah, it's never like, it just like, these situations are never like black and white. There's always that gray area where people are just like everyone has their opinion and everyone feels like, I don't know, like there's reasoning behind their opinion and stuff, and it's always like messy when it comes to this stuff. Like we can even look at the whole Megan and Tory thing, like that's still a mess.
Exactly, and I think Megan and Tory is a stress example of what is different. People like Meg.
Yeah, exactly.
People like Meg, and she doesn't seem to have a messy temperament about herself. She sounds to be happy-go-lucky.
But they tried to find a messy temperament, remember? When they were saying the whole thing about, she beat up her ex-boyfriend, whatever, at Rolling Loud, or not Rolling Loud, at SXSW, and all that stuff. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, and so in that situation, people just leaned all the way to we believe everything Meg is saying. Mm-hmm. And Tory Lanez doesn't seem to have a history of abusing women, right? And I'm not trying to shit on Joe. I like Joe Budden. I like what he has done. But Joe Budden has a history of abusing women. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now, I don't want to say history. He has claims. He has claims because we don't know any. He has a history of claims by women saying that he abused them, right? Mm-hmm. And in this situation, you have Tahiri saying something that more than often, if another woman said it, they would automatically believe her based on the history and accusations for it.
Like if Sin Santana came out and said that now, I'm pretty sure everyone would believe her.
Exactly. And so all I'm trying to point is the hypocrisy in that movement that people are trying to push. Mm-hmm. That's all. And we're seeing this right here. People should, by default, if they believe in what they're believing in, believe Tahiri until this video came out, which probably even if she said, even if the breaking of the nose is a foggy memory, as Joe Budden wanted to say, like she did have some other claims and imply
broken ribs throwing down the stairs. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I'm just saying there is, and I myself, I don't like to say I'm on any type of side. I like to just be on the middle and I like to formulate my own opinion based on the information we have here. But it just really shows that there's a hypocrisy in a lot of stuff, in a lot of social movements that are going on, and it's kind of a shame. And I can see why certain people don't want to stand up for themselves and even address that, because they might be, make ostracized, or their image might be tainted in a way where it makes them look unfavorable, or you know what I mean, people might not believe them. It's just a messy situation, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Well, that's that. Joe also said he's leaving Spotify, and Charlemagne came out and shared his opinions on it, saying that Joe doesn't know how to negotiate his own self-worth. Basically, like, he wasn't really dissing him. He was just more so saying, like, well, he kind of dissed him at one point, because he was just saying, he doesn't know how to negotiate his own self-worth, and this is why, like, he works on these multiple platforms and then ends up leaving, such as the whole thing with Complex and stuff. Yeah. And then Joe responded and told Charlemagne that he'll never get it because Joe owns this. He doesn't work for iHeartMedia like Charlemagne does. Yeah. And so we don't know where Joe's podcast is going to be at the end of this month. So
I think what Charlemagne was saying, I think he knows Joe Budden a lot more I guess, intimately, if I can say that, than most people.
Yeah.
So I think when Joe Budden got to deal with Complex with Everyday Struggle, I listened to Charlamagne. I enjoy his content. He said that he put a bet on how long this whole Complex Joe Budden thing will last, because Joe Budden tends, like he said, Joe Budden tends to buck it up. So when Charlamagne was saying that from 2017, I believe, when he got the whole Complex deal, Charlamagne kind of knows Joe Budden's maybe business acumen to a point to where he kind of fucks up a contract.
Yeah.
And it might be so much so that Charlamagne bet in on that he's going to fuck up a contract to a point where he said what he said publicly by saying he doesn't know how to negotiate his self-worth, what he's bringing to the table properly. Yeah. And that's why he gets himself into what he gets himself into. And I think, like Joe Budden, I like to say Joe Budden is the best speaker after Louis Farrakhan, because that man has a way with words. The minute like Rory and Mel just stop talking, and then they give Joe Budden the floor, and he just starts talking, Joe Budden is just a preacher. If Joe Budden was a religious man, he would have a huge congregation. But he has a huge audience for the Joe Budden.
Well, maybe that's where he'll go next, since Spotify is not.
I don't know if Joe Budden is the religious side.
Maybe he'll go to the churches.
Maybe he has a way with words, man.